Hey everyone, it is Johnny Glock, and like I said, we were going to do part 2 here of a series on different types of brakes. The first one we did a tactical brake that I talked about, and I have the gun here too to show you guys some things. But in fact, let's do that right now. I'm going to pull it up. I'm messing with lighting, a little bit of lighting here today in the Studio L Johnny Glock. But I have this cleared gun. And I'm going to, same thing as we did last time, pull this trigger. As you can see, trigger tab's right there. There's no movement yet. I'm right on the wall, but from there, it's a quick brake. Reset, quick brake. Oh, I kind of like that angle, huh? Nice. But yeah, and it's pulling in like right about 3.5 pounds. Very tactical. Now like I said, it's kind of like the tactician's type of brake that I would say, combat. It's a kind of like a carry feel. Most guys want to have that firm purchase on the wall and then a very short, pronounced brake. And the same thing with the reset, a very positive, aggressive reset. So now the next style that we were talking about, and I'm not trying to generalize here, but I guess I am. There's kind of competition shooters. I find it mostly in competition shooters or just range enthusiasts too. More or less range enthusiasts. But it's kind of like there's people that want to have that quick brake and they hate the sponge, and there's people that hate the jerky quick brake and want the sponge. This is kind of for the person that wants that kind of what I would call a spongy feeling, or which I've learned to kind of call it the smooth feeling. You know what I mean? So you're pulling the whole way back. And now remember, these are both the same kits. I'm going to open the guns up so you can see it's the exact same components in here. There's no change of component. It's basically what I'm doing to the triggers. So the springs are the same and everything. We'll do some changing up once we bring it down to the table here. But I'm going to pull this gun up, and once again I'm going to show you that it is cleared. And now this is more of that spongy brake that I was talking about. So there we go. Now there's a little bit of pre-travel in there just because it tends to be better that way. And then there's did you see all the roll in that? I'm going to do it one more time. Roll. So, roll. There's people that cannot stand this, and there's people that love it. It's just basically what you want. There's very little. It's not that it's a surprise. You kind of know when it's going to go off, but at the same time, it has that. Yeah, you can see right there. I always use that dot, like I said, as all that movement. And the reset's the same, but now look, when I go to pull again, same thing. Brake. That is a lot different than that. You can even hear the difference. So let's bring the camera down and I'll show you that these kits are indeed the same. It's just a matter of changing up the kind of proprietary changes that I do with the next generation group. And so without further ado, I'm going to drop this down so we can get a look at the guns. There we go. So some of these guns are in process too. That's why they have this stuff like that. It's a friend of mine's gun actually. So I'm going to open this up. I better bring this into view. I'm sure you guys are beyond thinking I'm tricking you in any way. So I'm going to pull this out, and as you can see, it's the Lone Wolf connector with a Gen 3 bar, 336. It's a 9mm, and that's basically it. It's polished, but not hugely polished. It's polished where it needs to be polished. So I'm going to drop this back inside of here. We'll do this the standard way. With the 3 pins. First pin. Get the slide release in there. set this over here. Now I'm going to pop this gun apart. Come on. Okay. Even us professionals have a hard time getting the Glock open every once in a while. It's the Cerakote. That's it. I can blame it on the Cerakote. It's frickin' Cerakote, man. Call that guy up. Anyway. And once again, same thing. This is not everyone thinks it's a Gen 4 bar because it has the bump. It's not. It's a 10 millimeter gun. So basically, with this gun, they have had the bump on it since day one. A lot of people tend to think that that bump was just done for the Gen 4s, and that's just not true. So I'm putting this back together. Incidentally, did you guys know that this corner is designed, if you push it in like this, to seat the pins properly? Pretty interesting, huh? I say that a lot. Interestingly enough, interesting. So those are the lowers. Now I'm going to take apart the upper so you can see that. Move these over here. And anyone that has a trigger of mine knows you can see that orange right there. That is a 4.5 pound spring all day long. I really don't recommend putting anything under a 4.5 pound spring in any gun because it can messes with the reliability. You know, if you're a competition shooter and you're shooting just federal or something like that, you can get away with it. But it's just really not one of those things I would do at all for a carry gun. In fact, I'd probably, keep it either stock or a 5 pound spring. Okay, so now we're gonna open this one up. And same thing here, orange. Now we're going to go back to this gun and its brake because we already went over this gun. I just wanted to show you it was basically the same components. So I'm going to slide this back on. And you can see it's just the reset short, but it still has that, and if I come all the way up, it still has this roll. And even when the striker drops the hand, even when the striker is dropped by, the cruciform drops the striker, it has a rolling quality to it. And then, like I said, along with that, you would think the reset would be longer, but it's still a very short reset. And there's not a lot of over travel, if minimal at all in there. So I would like to now see what this is pulling. Now remember, this is a Gen 3 with a 4.5 pound spring. And it is pulling, and I mess this up all the time, so under 3 pounds, sub 3 pounds with a 4.5 pound spring. I do another one. That's even more, like a little bit over 2.5. We're still sub 3. I gotta be careful with this sticky stuff because sometimes I drag this on the. And this, consistently. Look, it's just about the same pull every single time. That's important. You want your trigger to be consistent. I'm gonna take this apart right now. And I'm going to throw in, if you guys, let's get this in focus here. It's a 3 pound spring. It's got green on it. Basically, like I said, if you've bought my kit before, I make it completely user-friendly. Give you a nice chart. So it talks about, what spring combination you use to achieve certain breaks. There's 4 different types and feels in there. I just took a phone call and the guy's like, how many different feels and stuff can you achieve? And I'm like, it's pretty much endless. There is an end to it, but basically it's really what you want. You send me your gun and you have, I'll just do about anything you want to do. We can get the gun breaking all the way at the very beginning, so even have the, it's kind of hard to do sometimes because you can't get the, you have to really monkey with the safety to get the safety to hold all the way out there in the tab safety in the tongue here, but it can be done. Okay, so now, same thing, very rolly. And let's put a trigger scale on it. And so you can see it's 2.5. It's going to probably, I pulled a little hard, so it's probably under 2.5 this time. And with this rolling brake, it's, all right, there we go. 2.5. I keep pulling the, as I take the trigger out, I keep hitting the, alright, now I'm not going to touch it at all. There we go. That's what it actually pulled all 3 times, but I kept yanking it, so I will prove that and do it again. I keep hitting this on the, okay, here we go. So it's back under 2.5. One last time. And look at this when this is closer to 2. And the inconsistency is coming just because of the way I'm pulling. When the trigger gets this light, sometimes it's hard to, not keep a consistent feel. It feels consistent, but the pull sometimes just with these things. All right, there's another one. Even when I flip this, it moves a little bit, which is interesting. So sub 2.5. So I'm going to bring it back up. Okay, so basically, those are kind of like the 2 major requests that I get. Either like that kind of no wall feeling rolling brake. That's kind of like with the Evo connector that everyone likes, that Evo from Ghost, so it kind of feels like it disappears. There's no wall because it's actually bumping the connector sooner than any of the other ones in the market. That's the design behind that. So it's like a no wall rolling brake, or a firmer wall with a click, with a glass rod brake. Now you can do, the next video is going to be somewhere in between there, and I'm going to try to keep these guns around so I can show you actually how it does go pretty much right in between. The poundage is the easiest kind of part about it. Once you start bringing a Glock below 2 pounds, 2.5, then it's kind of like, there's other modifications. You can bring a Glock down to 8 ounces if you want, and I have, with different types of holes, drilling pivot changes and all that, even with a 5.5 connector and the stock spring. You just kind of have to know the recipe for it. But with these drop-in kits, once you start lowering them under, I'd say 2.5, 2 pounds, then you really have to be married to a certain primer, and that's kind of like not what you bought a Glock for most of the time, so it'll run anything, it'll shoot anything. That's why I preach about the 4.5 pound spring, because that breaks every single primer. I've never seen it not break a primer. So you're still hitting sub 3 pounds, and these are, the tactical one isn't newer. It's newer. I haven't shot the living bejesus out of it. I've shot it enough. But this other, once these guns are shot, say 1,000 rounds, they're even going to get sweeter. They're going to drop in weight. But for right out of the box kits, I think they stand alone. They speak for themselves. So basically, I guess that's all I have to say today. Like I said, I kept promising I was going to get back to this with this series on, the different brake feels and, the different requests that I get. Everyone wants a short, quick, tactile, palpable reset, pretty much. No over travel. And that reset setup is just about what you hear every single time. As far as pre-travel, people that have been shooting a long time with Glocks, they need extra pre-travel in there because they have the muscle memory for it. 1911 shooters want it right on that dang wall. They want it like the tactical one. 1911 is kind of like the tactical one, that a quick glass rod break with a wall. And next time we get together, I'm going to be showing you the semi-rolling and some other interesting breaks and how they pan out and stuff like that. So it's Johnny Glock signing off. I came up with a new logo, which is basically Johnny Glocks. You thought you had a good trigger. Or something like that. I don't know. I got to get the wording correct. But this is the next generation phase of what I'm doing here, and it's the drop-in kit. And it doesn't say comp or competition, it just says next generation, because you can pick and choose anything you want. Basically, you could do it with the comp and the competition, but they were kind of pigeonholed in between comp and competition. Like, I kind of knew the cutoffs there. Now I'm just making it super duper easy. It's easy for me too, just to take a call and take information. Finally, I got the new number on the website, which is www.johnnyglocks with an S, johnnyglocks.com. You can hit my Facebook pages, you can hit my Instagram and the YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, from my web page. So that's going to get a lot of updates and changes to it as well, now that I've finally got the number changed. But anyway, be safe out there, shoot straight, shoot better, and get a Johnny Glocks trigger. We'll see you guys.